Welcome to the Art of Likeability, where you learn the secrets to becoming more likable in all areas of your life. Increasing your likability improves your relationships, and improved relationships increases your success in all areas of your life. Let's jump in with your host, Arel Moody.
What's going on, fam? Arel Moody here, host of The Art of Likeability. Welcome back to the podcast that teaches you how to increase your likability in all areas of your life. Increased likability leads to better relationships. Better relationships lead to more success and happiness, and who doesn't want more of those things? I'm really excited to talk to you about an idea that is really important for you to apply, and I want you to ask yourself, which one of the two are you? It comes from a quote, and the quote goes, "Everyone brings happiness. Some people bring happiness when they arrive, and some people bring happiness when they leave." Now, what I want you to ask yourself is, what type of person are you? Are you the type of person that when you show up, people are so excited that you're there and joy and happiness is there? Or are you the type of person that when you leave, people are like, "I'm so glad that that person is gone"? Now, it may seem like a silly question, because who is going to admit, like, well, yeah, of course, I'm the mean person that when I leave, everyone is happy. Like, no one is really going to admit it. But I would ask you to take a moment to challenge yourself and ask yourself, are you doing enough in every interaction? There's an idea of likability that is really important, and it's that you are on always, everywhere. If you start really embodying that idea, and I think it was Shakespeare who said the world is a stage, and I think that's really true. I think that you have to embody it. The reason why is if you embody it long enough, it actually becomes who you are. Now, a lot of people say, well, Rel, it's a lot of energy and effort to, like, every time I interact with people, try to make their days better. Like, sometimes I just need to get in, get out. Look, I totally get that, but you're missing the boat. There's a few things and ideas that are very important to think about. When you focus on every single interaction being an interaction where you're bringing happiness to the person you're interacting with, even if it's a 5-second interaction, I promise you things will absolutely change in your life. A lot of people go through this world as a kind of a transactional world. I get this, you give me that, I give you this, and then we're done. And the truth is, taking these brief moments to cause happiness and joy in other people's lives, it does something, not just for the other person, but for you. One of the things that I love to do is when I'm checking my food out at the grocery store, I like to kind of do fun stuff with the person at the grocery store. So I might say something like, "Hey, quick guess, how much do you think the total amount of my groceries are going to be?" Or, "What's the craziest thing that's happened to you today?" Now, I mean, I'm only interacting with that person for the extent of the checkout period. But for that person, their entire day has probably been monotonous. They've been just sliding food across a blue or red light scanner and UPC code, whatever. And it's boring. And you come in and you add a breath of fresh air. This is important because the more you can get into the habit of it, of realizing every single interaction when you're walking into the hotel room and you're waving hello to the housekeeper, or if you are entering into a business opportunity and you're meeting people in the office and you're bringing happiness and joy when you walk in. Basically, people like people that they like. Doesn't that make sense? Like, I mean, it's not rocket science, but so many people have this idea of, like, when I have to be nice, I'll be nice. You don't want to do that. One of the quotes that I love, and it was about business and hiring people, is that you don't hire people to be good. You hire good people. Everybody can turn it on when they need to, but there are a few people who their on is just who they are. Now, for some people, they do this naturally. They get this. It's who they are. For me, it wasn't the case. I had to actually build this idea, and it was some effort at first, but it was absolutely worth it because now it's just what I do. I can't, if you brush your teeth every morning and every night, if you don't brush your teeth once, it feels weird. It feels uncomfortable. Like your mouth doesn't feel clean. Now, there are a lot of people who don't brush their teeth, and they have no problem about that. You've probably sat next to and smelled the breath of this person. But for some people, it doesn't matter. But if you make something a habit long enough, not doing it doesn't feel right. When you make it a habit of bringing joy and happiness to every single conversation, to every single interaction that you're a part of, it eventually becomes who you are. And you don't have to work towards it, and it just becomes automatic. It's the 10,000 hours, it's the not thinking, it's the blink, it's all those ideas that you've probably read and understood. If someone does something long enough, it becomes automatic. They don't have to think about it. So you want to make sure that when you leave an interaction, did you smile? It could just be a big, warm smile, imagining that person is the most important person in the world when you smile at them. It could take half a second, but it can mean everything. When you're walking through a situation, going into a building, do you stop an extra second and hold the door so that the other person behind you can come in without the door slamming? Now, obviously, the person can clearly move the door on their own, but you make them feel special. These things add up over time. People will start noticing it. People will start realizing that, wow, there's something different about you. Because I promise you, when I say everywhere and anywhere, there are always people observing you. Even when you don't think people are watching you, there is someone watching you. When you're walking down the hallway and you think you're the only one there could be somebody in an office that's watching you, and they want to see how you respond when no one else is looking, how you interact. It's just what we do in our human nature. And it's an idea that I also really love, that who we really are, is how we act when we think no one else is around, and how we act when we think we're at our lowest points. One of the interactions as a litmus test that I recommend that you watch is, if you want to know someone's character, notice how they treat the waiter or waitress at the restaurant. Do they just treat them like they're some type of servant? Do they treat them with respect? Are they nice to them? Because to most people, the person bringing your food is just, their job is very simple. They bring your food and the story. So a lot of people don't give them the credit, but it's a great, great test for you to see, one, who are you as a person, and two, how is the person you're interacting with? A lot of times in business or sales meetings, if it's done at a restaurant, the salesperson will give all their attention and energy to their client, and then when the server comes, it's kind of like, yeah, whatever, give me some orange juice, or give me that. The client notices that. I promise you will be surprised if you give a little bit of attention, a little bit of niceness to the server, how much that client you're sitting down with will take notice to it. How people you go off to the bathroom, as you're going off to the bathroom, you might wave at someone, even if you don't know them, like it's the chef, you just wave and say, hey man, this food is delicious, I love eating here, and give them a smile. You'll be observed. Everywhere you go, you are being observed. So you should get in the habit of saying, everywhere I go, I'm going to bring happiness. I'm going to bring joy. I'm going to be a light bringer. I want you to be a light bringer, that if there's a dark place, your personality, your existence brings light to that darkness. A lot of people like to commiserate, or they like to bond over really negative things, talk about how horrible things are. It just doesn't work for me. It's like poison to my ears, and it should feel like poison to your ears. Getting in the habit of complaining, of saying why everything is wrong, it might make people, I don't know what the right word is, they feel comfortable with you in the moment, or they commiserate with you. Misery loves company or whatever, but it's not going to get people to like you. There's not many people who complain all the time or talk about how everything is wrong. I'll be like, oh, this always happens to me. You ever met one of those people where everything always happens to them and it's not their fault? How much longer do you like to really be around that person? It's draining. It's like you talk to some people, you need to drink coffee afterwards. So I want you to focus on, when you walk into a situation, what are you going to do in every situation, in your very next interaction with someone, to bring happiness and joy into their lives? One of the simple things I like to do is it's a very simple thing, but it works in almost every situation. You interact with someone and you say, oh, what's going on? Tell me about something cool that's happened to you so far. Now, a lot of people so far, what's cool happened to you today or since the last time I saw you. I mean, obviously use your own, intellect to put a good time frame on it. But I usually say, hey, what's something cool that's happened to you in the last month? Or what's something cool that's coming up in the next couple of weeks? Give someone the moment to share about something. And if the person says, well, nothing's cool or nothing's amazing coming up in my life is miserable, then you can have something fun where you say, well, you know what? The next time we see each other, I want you to make the goal of having something cool to tell me, all right? Does that sound cool? Because I think that you deserve cool stuff. Say something like that. You can turn every interaction into a moment to make someone smile or make someone talk about something that's important to them, or just listen. Sometimes just listening to people is the greatest way of making them feel fantastic and special. So here's what I'd like for you to do. I'd like for you to make the commitment that from this point forward, no matter how difficult things are with you, no matter how little gas you have in the gas tank and how many bills you need to pay and how much stresses are in your job, you make sure that every interaction, you're going to do something to bring a little bit of joy and happiness into someone else's life. Do something to have that mindset, to have that dedication, to say, you know what? The next time I meet someone, I'm going to give them a big smile. I'm going to ask them something about their day, and I'm going to genuinely listen. Or if someone tells me something, I'm going to be genuinely excited for them. If you start doing this enough, it just becomes automatic. It becomes who you are. You become a light bringer, someone who brings joy, and people can't wait for you to come to the event. You're going to be the life of the party if that's something that you so choose to want to be. That when you show up, people are happy, and then eventually you just being there is more important than you doing anything, because you being there is a gift to everyone else because they know who you are. So take that responsibility onto yourself. Make this part of your personality. I promise you, if you start doing this, you'll start increasing your likability. If you increase your likability, you increase your relationships. You increase your relationships. You increase your success and happiness. And if you don't want success and happiness, you are listening to the wrong podcast. Signing off, make sure to subscribe to the podcast. Hit a brother up on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or Snapchat or LinkedIn. I'm the only Arel Moody. You see the iTunes thing. It's got my name on it, ARELMOODIE. Let me know what you think. Send me an email at info@likeability.com. If you have questions or if there's topics that you'd like to cover or scenarios that you weren't sure how to handle, let me know on social media or email. Again, the email is info@artoflikeability.com, and we'll make sure to cover it. We might be able to cover your stuff on the air. All right? Talk to you soon. You are awesome.
Thanks for listening to The Art of Likeability. Please remember to subscribe to the podcast for more awesome info on how you can improve your likability and improve your life. Until next time, remember, you are awesome!